From uprising to victory, the fall of Syria's Assad regime. Welcome to Global Dynamics Hub, where we explore the stories behind the headlines.
President Assad's rule over Syria only ended 5 days ago, but today his country was unrecognizable as hundreds of thousands of his former subjects took to the streets to celebrate his fall in what they called a victory.
In today's video, we'll discuss a historic moment in the Middle East, the fall of the Assad regime in Syria. For over 5 decades, the Assad family ruled with an iron fist, but after years of conflict, the regime finally collapsed.
With breaking news tonight out of Syria, where rebels may be on the verge of toppling President Bashar al-Assad's regime. The rebels keep pushing deeper south. They say they're now at the gates of Damascus. Of course, that's Syria's capital. And at this moment, conflicting reports about where President Assad actually is.
Join us as we explore how the Assad regime's collapse unfolded, the role of global powers like the US and Turkey.
The Syrian military and Russian forces launched joint airstrikes Monday.
The journey of rebel forces from Idlib to Damascus, and what the future holds for Syria as it seeks to rebuild from the ashes of war. The Assad family ruled Syria for over 50 years, starting with Hafez al-Assad in 1970. Under his leadership, Syria became a tightly controlled state, with power centralized in the government and military. When his son Bashar took over in 2000, many hoped for reform. However, those hopes quickly faded as corruption and political repression persisted. Inspired by the Arab Spring uprisings, Syrians began peaceful protests in 2011. The flashpoint came in the southern city of Daraa, where the arrest and torture of schoolchildren for anti-government graffiti sparked mass protests. The regime's violent response turned Daraa into a hotbed of resistance, igniting a nationwide rebellion. From Daraa, the rebellion spread to other cities like Homs and Hama, where opposition forces faced heavy bombardments but continued to fight for control. Homs, often called the capital of the revolution, endured prolonged sieges and became a symbol of resistance. In the north, rebel forces gained significant ground in cities like Aleppo and Idlib. Aleppo became a focal point of the war, with its eastern districts falling to rebels before enduring years of brutal counterattacks. Idlib, meanwhile, emerged as a key stronghold and the heart of the opposition's strategy for survival. However, by 2016, with backing from Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia, the Assad regime launched a devastating counteroffensive. The recapture of Aleppo marked a turning point, forcing many rebel groups to retreat to Idlib, which became their final major stronghold. Though Idlib became a refuge for rebel forces, it was also the staging ground for their renewed offensive. With support from Turkey and allied groups, the opposition consolidated their strength and began launching attacks on regime positions in surrounding regions. By 2022, rebel forces began their push southward, reclaiming strategic cities along Syria's highways. Cities like Hama and Homs, once heavily bombarded by the regime, were liberated, weakening Assad's grip on the country. One of the most decisive battles occurred in eastern Ghouta, a region just outside Damascus. After years of siege and heavy fighting, rebels launched a coordinated offensive to break through Assad's defenses. This paved the way for their final advance on the capital. In early 2024, the rebels launched their final assault on Damascus. Exhausted and riddled with defections, Assad's military could no longer hold the city. After days of intense fighting, rebel forces captured the capital, marking the end of the Assad regime. Facing defeat, Bashar al-Assad fled Syria and sought asylum in Russia, bringing an end to decades of authoritarian rule. The victory in Damascus was not just a military triumph, it marked the beginning of a new chapter for Syria. International support played a crucial role in shaping Syria's future. Turkey provided refuge to millions of displaced Syrians and supported opposition forces in their fight against Assad. The United States and its allies focused on defeating ISIS while providing humanitarian aid and stabilizing opposition-held areas. Meanwhile, the United Nations mediated peace talks, culminating in a UN-brokered agreement for a peaceful transition of power. Under the agreement, an interim government was formed, including opposition leaders, civil society groups, and former regime officials, to steer Syria toward recovery and reconciliation. The fall of the Assad regime is only the beginning of Syria's journey. Decades of conflict have left cities in ruins, industries destroyed, and millions of people displaced. Rebuilding the nation will require substantial international aid and investment, as well as the resilience of the Syrian people. Socially, the scars of war run deep. Communities once united are now divided along political, ethnic, and sectarian lines. Reconciliation will be essential for lasting peace and stability. Syria's future depends on continued international support. Countries like Turkey, the US, and European allies have pledged assistance, but challenges remain, including ensuring fair governance, preventing extremist groups from regaining power, and creating opportunities for the next generation. Despite the challenges, there is hope. The Syrian people have shown incredible resilience, and with the right support, the country has the potential to rebuild stronger than ever. The fall of the Assad regime marked the end of decades of authoritarian rule and opened the door to new possibilities for Syria. Thank you for joining us at Global Dynamics Hub. What do you think about Syria's future? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories about global events shaping our world.